I'm curious because a lot of the people who are attempting to write YA books in Australia or have done, they've got families and day jobs and all sorts of things going on. So maybe as opposed to the question of like, what's your best writing advice? I suppose, do you have any hacks or tips for people who are just knackered and are having trouble finding the energy to write or the time to write, or just any little tips and tricks to like carving out that creative space?
So what happened between writing the first book, this one, As Stars Fall, on a 2-book contract, and this one 6 years later, which is a really long time in publishing, I had twins and my mother got really ill and needed a lot of care. And I started a new job and I was finishing a PhD. So it was a life pile-on. So my only hack really is to just hang on to what you want to do. I developed skill in the art of the increment, in that it doesn't feel as nice as having a big long stretch of time to sit down and really think about something and to go deep. But it still works. And I was kind of shocked to discover this. So I had no time to think or to write. But once I'd had the initial idea for this, the first tiny, tiny little germ, I started plotting it. Without actually writing any scenes or anything, I just started writing the shapes of plots, like what might happen next. And actually, because I had 2 little crawlers who would not let me alone, I actually had little cards in the toilet and would just write what might happen next. And then next time I was in there, I'd just think about the next tiny little thing that might happen and put like a sentence and stick it there.
That's fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I think
and then,
industry.
And then I graduated to a notebook and started trying to link them together and write little paragraphs of, a character or description or scene or something. And then as time went on, I managed to just carve out more time around each of those things. But once you get a nugget of something, it kind of creates its own momentum and it's a lot easier to keep it rolling, and it starts drawing things into itself. And that stuff, it might take you 6 months to just get, this tiny little kernel of an idea of this character and where she might go. But that doesn't go away. Like, you don't lose that. And then in that present moment, you have this much, even if it took you a really long time. So it took about 4 years to write this book. It probably was about a year and a half's worth of writing, but it was super elongated.
Mum's in the loo for a while.